Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at updating to the latest version of MyListing. That's version 2.11.6. So we're going to look at how to update your current version of your theme, and then we're going to run through the new features and fixes with this new release. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. So from your MyListing website, let's go to the WordPress dashboard. We're going to go to Appearance and Themes. Now you may have a plugin already in place to download the theme updates, in which case this won't apply to you. But for those of us that don't use that plugin and we just manually download our files and then upload them to our site, this is how you're going to go about that. So from your ThemeForest account, you go into the MyListing download, you download what's called the installable files only. So make sure you choose that option, download it to your computer, which I've already done before this video. Okay, so we just again go to Appearance and then Themes, and as we see here, we are at version 2.11.5, and all we need to do is click Add New Theme, Upload Theme, choose our files from our computer. So you want the zip file, okay, that you download from ThemeForest. Click Install Now. And replace active with uploaded. And just that fast, we've updated the theme. Now, if you have a custom code in your parent theme, you don't want to do what we just did. You want to have a child theme in place. I've got videos and guides on how to do that, but the process here would be the same that we just took, okay? But I just want to point out that you want to make sure before you update, if all you have is the parent theme and you've done customizations, what we just did would overwrite that. Okay, so you want to be sure that with custom code added to the parent theme, you want to get that child theme in place instead. Okay, so let's pull up the change log here. I should have done that before this video, but let's go ahead and pull that up now. And I will bring that over to my screen here in a second. Okay. Copy and paste this over. All right, there we go. Let's do that. Scroll down. All right, here we go. Version 2.11.6 updated, was updated over the weekend. The other thing I'm going to have is some, I'll call it insider tips on some of this, to clarify some of this stuff based on my conversations with the MyListing team. Okay, so let's run through this. Basic search form, ability to link each listing type with a different Explorer page. Okay, so for that, we're going to go into listing types. We'll go into cars. We'll be working from the cars listing type. What I have here is just the MyListing main demo in place, if you're curious about that. Nothing else, no extra plugins, nothing, just the parent theme and then the base 3 plugins that MyListing requires, okay? Okay, so going back here, basic search form, ability to link each listing type with a different Explorer page. So we're gonna go into search forms, because we're talking about the basic search form. Let's go to the Basic Forms tab, and we see this new addition down here, Submit to Page, okay? Leave blank to go to the main Explorer page. So what I like to do on my sites is I like to have individual Explorer pages in addition to the main one, okay? So let's say for cars, you created a page. So we go do that. Call it Cars. And we will place this page under, so we click on Parent, we place this under Explorer. And we'll go ahead and publish that. Edit this new page with Elementor. And drop the Explorer listings widget into it, just as you do any Explorer page. We're not going to customize this or anything. I just want to show you this real quick. So you drop that in, and then over here on the left, we choose which listing type we're going to show. We're going to choose cars in this case. And let's publish this page. Where did my, oh, it's up here. There we go. There we go. So we've got that page published. Now, if you go back into your WordPress dashboard and we go to pages and we hover over that new cars page, we're going to see in the bottom left-hand portion of the screen, it's going to be, I can't zoom in or I'm going to lose it, but if you take a peek down there, it says post equals 207. That is our page ID. So if we go here then, back to our listing type, let's see here, let's go back. Cars is 207. All right, let's go back into our listing types, go back into the cars listing type, go back to our basic search form, and we would drop in 207 if you want to send people directly to that Cars Explore page. Okay, so that's what that is for. Next up is added reviews block for listing page that will allow you to display reviews and a review form on any profile tab. Okay, so for that, previously under content and tabs, typically you would see like a reviews tab. So you drop in that reviews tab, call it reviews. Let's go ahead and update that. Let's pull up a cars listing here. So cars, search. Okay, so now you have this reviews tab. All right, so what they've added in this release is the ability to not have to use this reviews tab essentially, and you could paste all this stuff in there into any tab you want, whether it's profile, contact, whatever. Okay, so if we go here into content and tabs, let's go into the profile tab. Let's go ahead and remove the reviews tab off of there. Let's go into the profile tab. Here is the new reviews block somewhere right here. Okay, so we're just going to drop that block in, and that's pretty much all you need to do. If you want to not display an add review form, you can uncheck that. If you want to change your icon, you can do that. But let's go ahead and update that. Refresh our page. Now you'll see here that it doesn't appear, and this is one of those call them insider tips. When I reached out to the MyListing team, their comment was, no, this is not meant to be used like this. We will get this fixed in a mini update. So you'll see here that it's not in here. Okay, it's not working in air quotes. Okay, and that's because there's no review. All right, so let's go back here and let's add back that reviews tab. Let's leave a review. Okay, now let's go back to that profile tab, and there you go. That unlocked that. So you needed to have at least one review done before that's going to appear. Now, what if we go and remove that reviews tab? Still works. Okay, so they say that they're going to fix this in a mini update, so stay tuned for that. But that's overall, that's the functionality. All right, next up is added the option to enable breadcrumbs for listing page. Okay, so for that, let's go to WordPress dashboard, theme tools, theme options, and let's go to single listing and enable breadcrumbs. Okay, so we're going to turn that on, update, refresh our listing. I would expect this to appear somewhere in this vicinity. Okay, and we do not see it. This is another one of those, in air quotes, insider things that I spoke to the team about, and the official team, not my team, the official team. So apparently their response was, breadcrumbs will appear below the header. Make sure to also disable blend header with cover section. Turn that off. Okay, so let me go here as well, And while I'm in here, I'm not sure how their demo's got that light header going on, but it does. Let's refresh. There we go. Okay, so we see, that's fine. It can appear up here. So this is absolutely fine. It's navigation. So here's the breadcrumbs. So this is the name of our listing. Over here on the right-hand side, we've got home, listings, and then our listing name again. So if we click that listings, that takes us back there. So I just wanted to show you the functionality. We're not going to get into why this could be better or any of that kind of stuff. I just want to show you what this unlocks. If you have questions about this and you need it to do other things, then go into the MyListing help desk and talk, start some conversation around that. Okay, next up is WP All Import, added support for images without a specified extension in the URL. Anything that we can do to improve the import exporting of data, awesome. We're not going to test this or anything like that, but just wanted to point that out. Fixed bugs created by Elementor 3.24. This is one of the things that I reached out to the team about, official team, not my team, and said, hey, we need a little bit more clarification on what these change logs are referring to, and they agreed that they were going to do that going forward. So let's hope that's the case, because we don't know what this even means. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Listing feed pagination, scroll to top when you change page. Okay, so for this, let's create a page. We'll call this just pagination for fun. Go ahead and publish it, edit it. Let's drop in the feed widget. And let's set this to show, say, 19 per page. Let's enable the pagination option here so we can test out this new feature. So we're going to toggle that on. Let's set our pagination to be pages. So now when we go down here at the bottom, we see that we've got the pagination, however you say it, pagination turned on right there. So that'll be a good test for us. Okay, so previously they're saying before the update, if I was to go here and click this number 2 to go to the second page, it would just stay here at the bottom of the page. And with this update, they're saying it should drop us all the way back to the top of the page and show those results. Okay, so let's test that out. There we go. So cool feature there. Thanks for that. Let's move on. Added option to enable label for repeater block. Okay, so let's go into our listing types. Let's go into cars again. Let's add the repeater field. So this one right here, general repeater. We'll just use it right here where it's at. We'll just go with the default settings. Go over into our profile tab. Let's add the general repeater block. And let's give it a label. We'll just call this offers. We need to tell it to use our repeater field. Let's drop that in. Let's go check out our car listings. Oops, wrong one. Let's go to cars. Okay, we see here that we do not have that general repeater in there because we need to add an item. So let's go down, an offer in this case. So let's go down here, click add item. Let's give it a label of offer 1. Let's give it a price of $50. Let's give it a button label of buy now. And let's give it a fake URL of a fun website, AOL.com. This is a description. We're not going to worry about an image right now. Let's save our changes. Once the actual full URL, save changes. Location is required. Let me just turn that off real quick. Let's make location not required. Go back over here and save changes. There we go. Okay, so let's go view our listing. And we now see this down here. But what we don't see is we don't see the block heading. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that out. So we're going to go back to that general repeaters field right here. And now we have an option to show block label. Now when we view this listing and refresh it, right above this block, we should see a heading of offers. There we go. So that's that. Now, we're not going to get into how this could be better either, or what we might do, but you can see that it's a little disjointed. Maybe that doesn't bother you or not. But you can easily add some CSS to style that up. I actually prefer to put offers in this case, general repeaters, in its own tab. So new tab, we'll call this offers. We're just going to do a single column, add that general repeater block in there, give it its label. In this case, we wouldn't even need the label. Choose our general repeater field, and we'll just take out the label of the block also. So let's update that. So instead of having this look right here, I like to have it in its own tab. There you go. So now you don't have to worry about the labels or any of that stuff. It's just gonna be nice and tidy under the offers. But it's a nice feature for them to add for us. So let's go ahead and move on. Fix listing feed, added load more to the translation file. So if you use a plugin like Local Translate, for example, wherever that pagination is in the listing feed, you can change the load more text to be whatever you want it to say. It doesn't even have to be a different language. You could just say, load more listings if you wanted it to be there. So they're giving us that ability in the translation files to change it to whatever we want. Next up is a bug with relisting when paid listings are disabled. So in your listing type, if you go under packages and you maybe either your whole website uses free listings, or maybe just individual listing types have paid listings turned off, then there was a bug that they fixed when people tried to relist under those listing types. Next up is preview card cache bug when views are added to it. Okay, so let's say we go to our preview card, so listing type, preview card, and let's say up we want to add a head button, so it appears at the top of our listing preview card. Let's say we wanted to do views, so we just use the short code there to drop in views. They're saying that if you did this, it caused an issue with the cache. They didn't disclose what that is, but I'm hopeful, based on what their response was to me, that they're going to improve change logs going forward. So we know what to look for and what to test, right? Next up is the related listings block, image size change to thumbnail. So this is just a performance optimization improvement. This is another one of those things that I asked them that anytime there is a performance related feature, fix, whatever you want to call it, change, let's say that, so get people excited to know that, we're doing a little performance optimization here. So it's not just a fix. What this is it's saying here in the, let's do a related listings block here. So single page, content and tabs, we're going to add a related listings block. Sorry, a tab. We're going to add a related listings field. There we go. Good enough. Let's go specify that field. There we go. Let's edit this listing here. Let's give it a related listing. Okay, now in our related listings tab, we go there. This image right here is where the performance comes in. So they were loading an image size that they didn't need to load here. So that will help with performance, especially if you have a number of related listings to show. Okay, next up is removed unnecessary front end styles from admin CSS. So this is another one of those performance improvements. Anywhere that any styling that's required for any of the MyListing areas that have to do with administration, so whether it's in the WordPress dashboard, WordPress dashboard or wherever, they're just saying that they reduced the size of this file, which is better for performance. So that's that. Next up is a listing feed order by priority first. Okay, so let's go back to this listing feed page. You can order by certain things. There's also this feature here, order by priority first. So again, I don't know what the actual issue was, but they're saying they fixed it if you had that turned on. So listing feed order by priority first fixed. Don't know what that fix is, but glad they fixed it. Next up is a bug with keyword search when searching for a location. I'm not sure, again, what that bug was. Glad they fixed it. Next up is another fix, listing type icons in categories widget. This is another one I told them I'm not really sure what they're talking about here. Their response was, this is one of those insider things. Where did they say? Try uploading a custom icon for a listing type and then display that listing type in the categories widget. It will still use the old font icon. All right, so let's check this out. Let's add, man, I do not use this particular, I need to disable this. Add element, there we go. I use the old school way of using Elementor, not this new header style up here. Anyway, let's add the categories widget, listing categories widget. Let's go ahead and add cars. No, I want to do listing types, not categories. Okay, listing types. And let's do cars. And you see how it has this car icon? They're saying that without this update, you couldn't go in to the cars listing type, give it a custom icon, and it would update. Okay, we see that it did update. So if you were experiencing that in the past, that is now fixed. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Cover details not showing the correct reoccurring date. So for this one, if you went into single page, cover details, and you had something in here for a date, so like event date, and then you had to use like the reoccurring event date, they fixed some bug with that. Let's see. Moving on, another fix, description. This is another one I reached out to them about, and they agreed that I think they said that a fix is coming or something. I think they worded this incorrectly, but what they meant to say was the value of description field is lost if you edit a listing and that field is hidden from the front end form. What we meant was the value of the description field is lost. Okay, so if we edit a listing, you know, whatever you're going to put in here, blah, 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 and you make your changes and you save them. But then let's say you go into your listing type and you go to that description field and you hide this from the submit form. Let's see here, edit that. So that's what I think they mean. So if I turn that off, click update in the past, then it would have lost any data that you put in here. So we see that it's not on the submit form, but let's go back to the actual listing and see that the data is in there. The data is in there. So they're saying in the past, this there was a bug that would have made this go away. Okay, moving on. fixed another bug. The this week filter when starting day set to Sunday. Okay, so if in your advanced search form you had, say, date, and you had the, let's see, what did they say here? Was it reoccurring? This week filter when you starting a day on Sunday. I can't remember off the top of my head what that is. Is that the recurring date? Yeah, there we go. I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think you get the idea here. If starting day set to Sunday. So I'm trying to think like where you even set that. It's been a minute since I've configured this field. Okay. Open now. Maybe that's what it was. Hell, I don't know. You get the idea. It's something like, I can't remember off the top of my head. So like on the Canvas starter site, for example, let's just look at that. I'm having a brain fart on what that is. So if I was to go to events, so this week right here, yeah, so that would be, should be in the events then. Date. All right, let's go date, reoccurring date. So it's not that. It's got to be a reoccurring date, right? I don't know, I'm brain farting it. You get the idea. There's some setting in there. I'm brain farting where that is. Bug with this week filter when just don't. I mean, now you can set it to when starting the day set. The starting day of the week is Sunday. Oh. Maybe they mean, maybe the reason I can't find it, maybe that's a WooCommerce thing. I think in WooCommerce is where you can set that. You know, maybe it's WordPress itself. I am just brain farting on what that is. Yeah, right here. So maybe this is what they mean. Week starts on, so before if you had this set to Sunday, maybe that's what they mean. This all goes back to, it's like, see how I'm struggling to find some of this stuff of what they're referring to? This is why I went to them and I was like, hey, can we get better descriptions of what we're looking for? So I think that's what this is for. But now that bug's fixed, so it's not a big deal. Next up is add listing form. Prevent submit before all gallery images are uploaded. This is another one I was unclear on, but I think what they're saying is let's make sure all of the gallery images are in the system, into the WordPress media library before they kick in the mechanism to, like submit the listing, add the listing. I think that's what that means. Okay, so it's kind of like, hey, make sure all the gallery images are in first, and then let's try to add this listing, just to prevent errors and stuff like that. Last up here is the recurring dates and countdown block. Use correct time zone. Okay, so whatever you set here under WordPress settings in general, whatever your time zone is, and I recommend you set a time zone, especially if your directory is targeting a specific region, but I would do this just in general. So this is just saying that it is now going to honor that time zone for those particular, the reoccurring dates and the countdown block, which that's an important fix. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Drop me a comment if you have any questions, or like I said, go into the MyListing help desk if you need further help, or want to ask for additional features on top of what they've released here, or have questions about those features. Or obviously, if you're a client of mine or you're in the MyListing Club community, feel free to drop your questions in there and we will get after it. Catch you guys in the next video.